Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Malt Reviews.
Welcome.
That's Mike. I'm Narby. We are doing a whiskey that is I'm just blown away that we own this bottle. This is one of the most legendary bottles in the history of all whiskey. It is the Laphroaig Samaroli 1967. This was bottled in 1982 at 57% ABV. There were 720 of these bottles bottled ever, and this is bottle number 82.
15 years old.
If you look on whiskybase,
Only 15.
in the top 1,000 rankings, this is number one. As of today that we're recording, I'm not sure when we release this review, it's possible that it might be number two. Sometimes it's number one, sometimes it's number two. Either way, if you speak with some of the more legends that have tried most whiskeys out there, like the owner of Old Alliance, he's a legendary collector who's tried most things. Guys like Serge from Whiskey Fun, Angus, a lot of those guys that when we were in our journey trying to figure out what are some of the best bottles out there, we're emailing, trying to contact people, trying to figure out what some of the better bottles are. And a lot of people will say that this is the best whiskey ever bottled, if not second or third best, somewhere up there.
Up there.
Yeah, and obviously on whiskybase, it's ranked number one currently. This bottle, we purchased this at auction a little over 3 years ago, and it had not come back to auction until 8 months ago.
Yeah.
So it was over two and a half years where this had not existed anywhere. There's only 720 of these bottled in 1982. So when it came back to auction 8 months ago, this last 2018 August, I believe it was.
Yep.
It went for $88,000, including commission fees for the auction. So kind of out the door price was $88,000. Just pretty insane. Before that, this was the only bottle this was the bottle that had been purchased. I read an article about it on the bottle that was purchased before that, and it was us. It was this bottle. And I don't know, you just feel like you're so much more than just a whiskey. It's like part of whiskey history, right?
Absolutely.
And it is crazy. Since then, it has, because it went for so much, it hadn't been in auction for 2.5 years, because, since then, it has dropped in price because a few other people that had these bottles kind of wanted to take advantage of that and see what they can get. So it dropped a little bit from that $88,000 price, but not by a lot. It's still insanely expensive. And it's not just about price. It's just the legend, the history, and for those of you guys who know us, we want to try everything. This was obviously very, very, very expensive for us as well. And we actually popped this open the day it arrived. It came out of the box. We literally took it in the kitchen and opened it. I'm actually glad this is a corkscrew bottling, not a cork.
And actually, this you can see the silver cap.
Yeah, silver cap.
This is part of the silver cap trilogy, which was one of Silvano Samaroli's first releases.
Yeah.
Albeit back then, no one knew how crazy and how legendary this whiskey would be. But yeah, this, along with Tormore, 1966, and a Glen Grant, 1955. That's the silver cap trilogy. So even adding to the legend of Silvano Samaroli.
Silvano Samaroli he literally picked the best casks.
Legend.
That have probably ever been selected. And I know that's personal opinion, but we're not old enough to have been around in 82. I was born in 82.
Same here. that gives it even more
Yeah.
history and legacy.
Yeah, so obviously we're not one of the OGs, the people that were collecting whiskey and treating whiskey the way a lot of us do now when it wasn't fashionable, right? Those are the guys who discovered this, written about this,
and no one else knew what was going on.
And that's what's kind of brought up the legend. And Sylvana Samaroli, you know, along with the Bowmore Bouquet 1966 and his Springbank 12-year-old 100 proof, he's bottled literally like some of the top 5 to 10 whiskeys ever, several of them. And that's that. You know, it's opinion, but it's the consensus opinion amongst the people that have been doing this. I'm not talking about the people that get paid to score something whiskey of the year and give it a bunch, you know, give it 98 points or 95 points, you know, and it's, you know, some random Crown Royal
The
bottle.
people where it's not their job, it's their passion.
Correct.
Whiskey. It's part of their life.
Correct. So, without further ado, I know this will probably be a long review, and I know we've been talking a while, so a lot of you have probably already exited out, but this review is for those who are really passionate about whiskey, and you know, we want to show that this bottle has been opened. This is a whiskey where we will probably maximum only have a dram a year, if that. You know, we want this to last a long, long time.
Absolutely.
And I'm very glad it's 57%, so, you know, it'll hold itself. It won't flatten out.
Absolutely.
And this has been breathing for a good, I don't know, over 30 minutes, probably about 45 minutes. This was poured out in this beautiful Lily crystal glass. This, you know, the color of this whiskey is just so dark. Just really, really rich.
Dynamite, rich, beautiful mahogany.
Yeah, just a very, very, very dark color. In the bottle, I don't know how it looks on camera right now because there's a light shining on it, but it is like a rich, dark, almost approaching coffee color.
Almost approaching light coffee.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that exactly.
On the nose, I hope we could do this justice. This is the first time where we've reviewed a whiskey where I don't feel worthy.
True. Absolutely.
Where, you know, I don't feel worthy, and it's also the reason why we've waited a long time to review it, and we just weren't sure when to do it. But we're releasing it right now, and I hope we do it justice.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. On the nose.
To the journey.
You just wouldn't believe. One nose from this whiskey, and I guarantee you could pick it out with an instant from 100. If they lined up 100 whiskeys, you would know. You would know what whiskey this is just from one nosing. It is that different.
It's that different.
It has just these juiciest, the mango that comes out blows my mind. Like, you can get this kind of mango coming out of a whiskey.
And a whiskey that dark, that sherry. But it's like, it's so unique. It's like, it's so hard to describe. It's like a salty, so like that's Laphroaig, salty, like balsamic covered, like almost like dark coffee espresso, like bacon grease dusted mango. It's so hard to describe, but it's like, it's that
it's all those things. It's all those things. It's the bacon.
It's its own thing,
It's the bacon grease, like you said.
It's the same.
The peat is, you know, when you open a Laphroaig now, Laphroaig used to be so different with their peat, so much softer and sweeter.
Yes.
Where now it's very medicinal. It comes out, you know, like almost like you're at hospital smell. Like,
yes.
Like
very Bengay.
yeah, exactly. It's exactly. You're like a Bengay kind of medicinal, and it's just so different. This is so luscious and sweet. It's got that meaty element, like you were saying. It's got those juicy fruits and that vinaigrette element, that sweetness. It's just unbelievable. I don't even know how to mention these fruits.
Like you said, that the old, you know, 50s, 60s, even 40s, but 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s peat that Laphroaig came up with, it's the perfect enhancer. that just lines all of these other flavors and brings it all together.
I mean, you will get fruits like strawberries and raspberries, and the mango comes out, and peaches and apricots come out. Grapefruit, this very sweet grapefruit, and sweet oranges. Almost like a fine old 100-year-old Grand Marnier.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, rich, orangey liqueur.
In whiskey form, and that vinaigrette. It's almost like a fruit vinaigrette coming.
Yes.
All mingled in with the meaty elements, sweet meaty elements, almost like a sweet bacon, like Mike was saying, and a sweet peat, all kind of balancing it all throughout. It is just mind-blowing.
But what I love about it is, there's been other whiskeys we've had, like, old, not sherry bombs, but old, perfect, sherry casks where we get those same kind of elements. But what it is it's the old Laphroaig character underlying it. The salt, the peat, the Isle of Islay, the location of Laphroaig just screams out at you and grabs a hold of you. And it really defines its own identity with all those other crazy flavors. More than ever in this whiskey.
There's even like funky flavors like mushrooms and
oh hell yeah,
and forest. It's almost like the pine tree forest, rainforest almost.
I was gonna say truffles, but not overly strong black truffles. The cheaper ones, but those crazy overpriced like white truffles that you gotta pay extra for. These light, beautiful, kind of fruity, tropical white truffles, but probably like its own thing. Whiskey, but that kind of like light white truffle element, but that really exotic, like you said, foresty mushroom element.
The fact that this whiskey's 15 years old.
15 years old, age statement.
And you wouldn't. It just doesn't matter. It shows that why age doesn't matter. If it's a cask like this, and you leave it in there, I'm assuming even for 3 years, right? It's going to be magical whiskey.
Yes.
It's the cask. It's the cask that has done this, and it's been selected by Samaroli, and it just really is the cask, because we've had so many other whiskeys and so many other Laphroaigs, and none of them speak like this.
Well, may I note that all those legends that Narby's talking about, that Samaroli came up with, that arguably the top 5-10 whiskeys ever, they're not big age statements. They're anywhere from 8 to 18 years old. So just secondly what Narby's saying, it's all about the quality of the cask.
Yeah, because you just don't want it, when the cask is that good, you don't want to just keep aging forever, but at some point it might start getting too dry. It's just unbelievable, but there's no way I would guess the delicacy, how delicate this is, yet how powerful it is, yet how sweet and complex it is on the nose. You would guess that I would probably guess this is 25 years old.
At least.
Yeah.
Because it's the depth of, like you said, the complexity, but the depth of flavor, and there's like primary, secondary, tertiary flavors just going around each other that usually would be hard to get from a 15-year-old or under whiskey.
The smoke, the meaty elements, the soy sauce that's coming out, that salty lusciousness, it's just unbelievable. But
it's everything.
That mango that shines through the way it does, mango. That is just so mind-blowing. The reason why I keep saying that one tasting note, because it's so unique. It's done in a way where I can't explain, combined with that sweet crystallized peat. Yes. So different from the peat that's out there today. I just don't know how to explain it any other way.
And they always talk about the old 50s, 60s Bowmore mangoes. And after having, obviously this guy, hard to beat this, but after having other Laphroaigs, 60s, 70s, Laphroaig mangoes can go toe-to-toe with Bowmore mangoes any day. But like Narby said, seconding it, that soft peat and that kind of toasty barbecue elements in that mango, I almost get this not sulfur, because that sounds bad, but this super sweet crystallized kind of char, kind of almost like fresh matchsticks as well. This kind of char of all that toastiness, like a fresh barbecue, fresh campfire, along with the mangoes, the soy sauce, the balsamico. It's like everything brings everything else out. Everything enhances everything so much. That's what's so crazy about this whiskey.
Mind blowing.
Mind blowing. Like, definitely most complex whiskey I've ever had. Mind blowing. But yet complex, not just complex, like so much stuff going on. Every single thing going on is like arguably the best note I've ever had of that. It's just so delicious.
Yeah, because it's so easy to say, oh, I'm getting strawberries, I'm getting cooked fruits,
Oh my God.
I'm getting mango, I'm getting icing. You know, I might even get that from, might get certain notes of that from another bottling that I would maybe score like an 85 out of 100. But those notes are there. It's just what quality, you know?
Quality.
Yeah, it's
the best.
Same as food, right?
Yeah,
There's filet mignon and then there's filet mignon, right?
Yeah.
It just, you know, kind of depends. And so, you know, both taste like meat, but, you know, one's completely different. And that's why there's a score at the end. It's just kind of to do it full justice.
Oh my God. I don't want to stop nosing this thing.
I don't want to drink
I
it either.
don't want to drink it. It's
Yeah.
going to go away.
Yeah.
This is, oh my God. Man.
Palate for the sake of the review.
Palate for the sake of the
because
review.
People have probably stopped watching.
Tuned out. Yeah, and I was going to say, like, obviously, you could say no whiskey's worth a certain price, but everything being relative, whatever the top price is, this might be worth it. Palate. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
What's so crazy is
oh my God.
What's so crazy is it's just gotten better.
Oh my God.
It's got with it, you know, this has been breathing for over 3 years. Not much has been drinking, but there is air in there, and it's gotten sweeter. It's sweeter on the palate. The level, the sugars, the Demerara sugars, all kinds of sugars.
All kinds of
All
most
kinds
exotic,
of
high quality sugars you ever had.
All kinds of
Like sugars that billionaires buy.
But just it's just so dirty. Just to say brown sugar or just Demerara sugar.
No.
Or,
This is like God sugar.
I don't know I'm mentioning sugars that I know of and I've tried, but I don't know what else there is. It's almost like it's sugars that don't exist.
It doesn't exist.
The sweetness and the fruits, berry fruits, tropical fruits.
Oh my God.
Even like coconut and banana combined with that balsamic richness,
coffee, espresso,
and that's such a rich orange. Where I'm using the words Grandma Margate.
No, you're nailing it. That's perfect.
Yeah, and
it's like the deep essence of like orange oil.
Yeah, and it's not oaky at all. You don't get.
Oh hell no! It's fresh as hell.
Yeah, you don't get those dusty elements that you do with like rich sherry, like 40-year-old whiskeys. It's
probably why the age. You know, didn't want to hit the limit, you know?
And the sweet peat coming through, and it's
hell yeah.
It's like, just, wow. It's just mind-blowing. It's so complex, and the fruit and sweet flavors are still fully in my mouth, and it's not changing. There's no oak coming in.
No.
There's no off-play. 57%. It drinks so juicy and luscious, and it's just going and going and going in my mouth, and it's not changing. Like, normally, like, the sweetness goes away, then the oak comes in, then the leather element comes in, and then, it changes like that. But for the sweetness and the lusciousness, that sweet peat to just last fully in your mouth like this.
I'm going to say something crazy right now.
You mentioned...
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay? Typically, right, it's whiskey, right? It's alcohol. So there's always going to be some dryness. So really, what do? We put up with the dryness to get the flavors, but eventually the flavors go away, like you're saying, right? But there's always that dryness, and be honest, dryness is fun. the mouthfeel, but it's not the most amazing thing you want in your palate compared to the other fruit and flavors. With this guy, there's none of that. It's just the flavors. It's just the perfection. It's just what you want on your palate with none of the alcohol. It's like not even a whiskey. It's something else.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. It's pure, fresh fruits, the balsamico, the sherry, every fruit we named, but as if there's no tolerating any dryness, alcohol, whiskey, nothing. It's insane. It's utterly perfection.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I know we just love it the way it is. And I'm not even going to bother adding water in it for the sake of the review, because you just have to take my word for it that we have tried it with water. It's just so perfect the way it is. There's just no point in messing with it.
Silvano knew what he was doing. I was going to say, I always say it, right? The cask strength, especially at 57%, I always say, when you get all that goodness from the barrel, you don't want to dilute it. But again, even more so with this whiskey, thank God for the 57%. You can see I did not want to swallow that sip. All I'm thinking is, thank God, 57%, because all that flavor is in there. And if they had diluted it with water to sell more than 720 bottles or 2,000, 3,000 bottles,
it wasn't like that back then.
Whiskey
wasn't worth anything.
But it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like
and
that.
That's why we get what we have.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean,
God knows what kind of sherry cask this was aged in. I'm assuming some kind of Paxarette was involved.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure.
Oh my gosh.
But wow, it's just true magic. Just true. I mean, it's just getting sweeter and sweeter as it's breathing. And Mike suggested that we needed to let this breathe for at least an hour and a half before we reviewed it. And it was more like 45 minutes. And he's not wrong. It just keeps getting better. Fruitier and just... Well, I just can't get over how sweet that peat is. It's probably the sweetest peat I've ever had. It wasn't like that the first day we opened it.
No, I think the air. But honestly, it's like peat candy. It's like peat becoming so sweet. You think of peat as a fruit for a candy for a kid.
You said it the best. Peat candy.
Peat candy. I've never gotten that before. Ever.
Yeah. That's my favorite tasting note of today, peat candy.
And that's that Laphroaig character coming through.
Yeah.
And the cask enhancing
each other. And it's so crazy for someone who hasn't tried the old Laphroaigs, and they're thinking Laphroaig peat is just totally not candy.
Yeah.
Very medicinal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. From medicinal to candy, literally that difference in the peat.
This is why we sound crazy, but we're so into whiskey.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We sound like lunatics, put us in an insane asylum, but it's that kind of that transition, that difference, old versus new. That's why we're into whiskey.
Yeah. One more sip and then let's give this guy a
score. This is nutty. Oh my God. And hopefully, cross your fingers, it's just going to get better and better and better. Obviously, you cry as this happens and the bottle goes down, but hopefully, consolation prize, it gets better and better and better and better each time. Oh my God. It's getting even better. Oh my gosh. Yeah, pour it. Go see Gladiator. Go see a 3-hour movie and come back and try it.
It is. Wow.
Oh my God, it's everything.
So buttery at 57%. Wow. Now, I would not guess 57. Blindly, I would say it's closer to 50 than 57. It's just so... you're getting zero alcohol.
Oh, no doubt. Just because 57 is so alcoholic.
Yeah, zero.
You said it perfectly, no doubt. But that's what was.
And we have tried. By the way, we have tried this with water a couple times. And decided it's just perfect the way it is.
Isn't that funny? It's not the first time. The water did not. Right? The water ruined it. Not the first time.
Yeah, sometimes
gotta watch out.
Sometimes water with these beasts. Yeah. And these quality sherry casks can start drying it out a little bit more. Yeah. And it adds a little dryness to it. That's why I think it's just perfect the way it is.
I could not believe how fresh, like you said, and just silky and creamy and buttery the mouthfeel is. I cannot believe this.
One of my favorite parts is the finish has the full flavor for a couple minutes. And then it starts slowly, bit by bit, kind of dropping down. But that full flavor for just a couple minutes.
Maxed out. Yeah.
Where you're not losing even 1% of the flavor in my mouth. Not even 1% is going away. That's one of the best finishes ever.
Nailed it. Chocolate covered, bacony peat candy.
Yeah, man.
Where else are you gonna find that?
And combined with all those fruits. I know for a fact we're not worthy of this whiskey.
Oh, hell no.
And more than you hearing our tasting notes, because, you know, what are tasting notes? You know, it's fruit stuff, it's dessert stuff. You know, it doesn't really change, you know, who you're listening to. But I think the main reason I wanted to do a review of this to show that, hey, we opened this bottle, and I think that's something special. It just doesn't happen in the whiskey game right now. It's all crazy rich people buying these and storing them, and you know, for investment purposes. Most people don't open bottles like this, and I really wanted this review to be done for that reason. And I would, you know, if you know someone else is really into whiskey, please do share this video to show that, hey, special bottles like this do get opened, and it's just really cool for me to have it on video. So yeah, score wise, this gets the same score for me as it did the last couple times I tried it. It's a 98 out of 100, and I can comfortably give it a 98, which is an insanely high score. And, you know, out of the thousands and thousands of high-end whiskey that I've tried, it stands amongst the top 3 that I've ever tried. And it is that good. So, you know, it's a 98 because you want to hope that you could possibly find better whiskey out there. So you leave a couple points.
You leave a little margin.
You just don't. You just never know that something else might be better. But it is one of those whiskeys that if you try it, you instantly drop every other whiskey you've ever scored by 2 points. It is literally that good. It immediately drops anything you've scored a 92 becomes a 90. Your 90s become 88s. It is that kind of a whiskey, and that's why it's a 98 out of 100.
I second that.
Yeah.
It's probably the top 1 or 2 whiskeys I've ever had.
Yeah.
That all the old legends agree. Probably the top 1 or 2 or 3 they've ever had.
Yeah.
98 out of 100 deserves nothing less than that.
Absolutely. All right, you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, because we are going to bring many other legendary whiskeys. You know, not many on this level.
It's kind of hard to top.
Yeah, because it's hard to top. But mainly, if you have any whiskey nerd friends that you know appreciate stuff like this, share the video. Not because we did the bottle justice, but just to show that, hey, this bottle was opened and enjoyed. There's only 720 of them in the world.
It's history.
And I would bet any amount of money that another bottle of this quality will probably never be bottled again. I hope it is, but
I pray it is, but
yeah.
I doubt it. Exactly.
All right. I'd love to hear your comments down below. If you know about this bottle, if you've heard about this bottle, what you thought of our review, good or bad. And we'll take it from there. We'll see you guys soon for many more reviews. Thank you. If you watched the whole thing, thank you so much.
Yes,
I know
thank you
it went
for
a long,
the time.
it went a long time. I know. I'm just happy we have this on video, man, for us to watch later on.
We did it, though.
Yeah. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.